Well, welcome to this week's edition of In the Pocket, of course, all thanks to Palmerbet with the legend himself, Spider Everett. And Spider, I'm going to... Oh, come on.
Come on.
Surely we've got to harden up, mate. What is going on? How many times have you booed throughout your career?
You can't tell me that Buddy Franklin would not have loved every little minute of that. He would absolutely love it.
I can't have it, Spy. I don't know, but clubs coming out and having to apologise, and I'm like, what's the world's gone soft?
But Tui was right from Geelong when he came out and said, I deserved it.
Yeah.
Because if you have a crack at the opposition, you lay them out. That's what the supporters go there for, to absolutely ride you every bump and every moment for the rest of the game. If you win, lose, the supporters are there to enjoy the game. And if that's built, I understand when you've got and Horn Francis and stuff like that. And it's a fine line.
Yeah.
But fans are there. If you've done something during that game, and I don't think even a month ago, they won't forget. It was a year ago. And especially if you're a player that's left the team and gone to another team, you deserve to be booed.
Part of the passion, mate, isn't it? And I don't know, Spy, but I'm tipping, and I want to put this question to you, but I'm tipping you thrived on the boo, mate. That's what got you up and about.
You love it, absolutely, because you know what? Because as soon as you do something good, you turn to the crowd, and what do we do as players, as showmen? Every time they get India, the guy that dropped the footy a few weeks ago, and the Collingwood player, and just it. Mate, that's for you.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what we love. That's the interaction that we get. We silence the crowd. We pump them up when we do something bad.
It's part of being a fan, Spider. That's what I reckon.
Absolutely.
You pay your money to get in the gate. You can do
they need to bring it into more sports, including horse racing. Ooh,
but Spider, you have a look at the soccer. Premier League overseas, they're the kings of it, aren't they? The way they get into it, I don't know. I just reckon we're trying to take too much out of the sport.
Yeah, and I love the soccer. I mean, not the game itself, but the spectacle of it with them singing their songs and chanting the bar. Imagine the Barmy Army not able to say anything.
Nah, that's it, mate. Nah, we've gone soft.
Come on.
Fella. Hey, talking about a club that's, I don't want to mention the S word, but the Blues, mate, where are they at, the Blue Baggers?
Oh, it's going to be tough for them. And we've always talked about that, haven't they? When are they going to be a top 8 side, a quality side? They can't do it. Their defence, just underwhelming. Midfielders, you can't rely on Cripps every week. You put a man on him now, and that's what they're going to do. And then, you got your 2 key forwards, but if you can shut one of those down, they're not going to get enough supply. So for me, the Blue Baggers, and look, I've got a couple of Blues supporters who thought that they were well and truly overrated right at the start of the year, didn't want to get involved in all the hype. They wanted to believe it. Trust me, they wanted to believe it, but they just couldn't.
Yeah. No, I feel sorry for Carlton. I don't know where they're at the moment, and they just can't beat a decent teim. It must be so frustrating as a club.
Just haven't got enough tricks. Just need a few more tricks. And, when your 3 tricks are, your full forward, your centre forward, your key midfielder, you just need more than that.
And the Palmerbet followers last week, we couldn't believe $2 for the Brisbane Lions coming down here. So, that was a fill up for all the followers of this podcast.
Absolutely. And 20 plus. Well, we'll tell you.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, listen, Collingwood, they're in good nick at the moment. They just keep winning games. They should. That was a good win. Sydney really come out. They need to bounce back. They've had a couple of disappointing weeks. They come out. They played hard, physical football, but that was a good response by the Pies.
Well, you got to play 4 quarters of footy, and normally Sydney do. They're another team that are disappointing at the moment, and we know they tag Nick Dacos, and this is the thing. That's what Sydney get. Sydney can start then trying to go, you know what? We got to scratch and bite and hassle as much as we can. They went away from that, the Bloods theory, and they played some good footy. Now they're going to go back to old traditional hard, bring it to a contest, 120 ball ups a game. They've got to start trying to bring it back to that, because at the moment what they're doing isn't working. But what they did to Nick Dacos, a lot of people are up in their arms about that. But you know what? They're going to learn. That won't happen this week because Collingwood are going to be expecting it, and they won't allow it to happen. So you only get one chance at a lot of these.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. What about the Tigers, mate? Are we just getting a little bit of form back, do you reckon? What's your thoughts there, Spide?
Well, I'd want to see him form back for a couple of weeks. It's always good for him to, it's good to have a win, but you got to beat somebody. You got to be somebody half decent. And that's the challenge that Richmond's got. They've still got a couple of players to come back into. Taranto, my man, he's got to have some Brownlow votes. He's having a ripping year. Shea Bolton finally gets his hand on the footy. It was good, but not enough yet. They're in that pack with the Suns, GWS, and Sydney. They just need to win a few more games to say, you know what, we are actually finals contenders.
Now, let's have a look at the futures markets, all thanks to Palmerbet, of course. Now, they've taken out Collingwood and Melbourne from the top of the table. This is to make the top 8 and also the bottom.
Well, hang on. Before we get into those two.
Yeah.
If you were coaching your side, you're 20 points up at three-quarter time, and you're playing, who would you prefer to be playing, Melbourne or Collingwood? Because they're saying Melbourne is the best fourth quarter team in the competition at the moment.
No, I wouldn't want to play the Pies, mate. I reckon they've just got a real belief.
I'm with you.
No matter what situation they're in, mate, they'll find a way. And they've done that for the last kind of 12 months, to be honest, Bide.
Yeah, I'm with you. They're saying Melbourne's the best fourth quarter team in the competition. Mate, Collingwood's had that for a year and we'll have it for another year. The way they're being at the moment, you never take anything away, granted, at three-quarter time when you're playing for Collingwood.
Yeah, I'm with you, mate. I'm with you. Well, we take Collingwood and Melbourne out of this futures bet, right? We take out North Melbourne and West Coast because they're at the bottom end, so they're not going to make, and Hawthorn, they're not going to make the so to make the top 8, the Saints currently sitting third. They're $1.20. To miss the top 8, they're $4.50 Spide.
Yeah, look, I think a few of those top ones, I think the Saints will make it. The two that get me, you run through the whole list.
Yeah.
And I've had a look, but I think the Western Bulldogs are the nervous.
$1.67 to make it, $2.20 not to make it. Currently 7th. Their last 4 weeks has been good.
Yeah, I know, but we've still got a lot of season, a lot of footy ahead of us. So for me, I reckon the Dogs will miss out, and I reckon Carlton will miss out. And Carlton, what's Carlton to miss out? $2.
$1.91 both ways.
$1.91.
So make it to miss it.
So they're my two that I reckon will miss.
Essendon, $2.25 to make it. Is there a bit of value there? You reckon the Bombers can, Spide?
I still reckon Port Adelaide.
Well, Port Adelaide, they're $1.45 to make the 8. $2.63 not to make the 8.
Where are they sitting on the ladder?
Currently 5th.
Oh, they're as high up as 5th. Yeah, they're going. Who's under Essendon?
Essendon, we've got Adelaide Crows who are 10th. They're at $2.10 and $1.72 to miss.
Yep. Because
Sydney Swans, here you go. There's a bit of value here. Sydney are currently 11th. Just to make the 8, $2.10. To miss the $8.72. Swannies will make they Spide.
Oh, not the one. You'd hope so, but they can go on a winning streak of 5 or 6 games. But yeah, look, I just don't see the Bulldogs and Carlton making it. So someone's got to take their spot.
What about the Tigers, mate? They're currently sitting 15th. They're only a game and a half. They're only a game and a half out of the top 8. $3.80
My God.
to make it.
You've been listening. You're Lionel Richie playing in the background from the King's coronation. Jesus, my starting to wonder.
Tell me you didn't watch the King's coronation. If you watched that, you've gone down to my highest, mate.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing I did learn. His crown.
Yeah.
It's worth over $3 billion.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, mate.
So if you ever want to do a number on something, you know what we're going for.
Knock off the crown, mate. Who'd buy it? Like, who can you sell it to, mate? It's not as if, what can they do with it? Melt it down or something. Hey, listen, let's move along to this weekend's round of matches. And this is the game, right? This is a season game.
Absolutely. But before we do, just with the Brownlow.
Yep.
And look at all the future markets. Go to Palmerbet, have a look at the future markets, because we've called on Noah Anderson, who was 101 last weekend or 150. Nowhere near that. Taranto's come in as well. Just to give you the heads up, these guys are looking good. There's a couple of really good value bets around the Brownlow at the moment. We're still only a third of the way through the season. Of course, you've got your Bontempelli, Nick Dacos, these guys, Oliver at the top. Yep. Yeah, but I tell you, there's a couple of really good value bets at the moment, guys that are finding a lot of the footy and being very consistent. Even my check.
I reckon Clayton Oliver's the one this year. He's just a proven vote getter, and he started the season solidly. He's in there every week. He'll be getting a little bit of my hard earned at some stage. Spide. Hey,
Yeah, you better get on early.
I just touched, mate. This is season defining. I reckon this could be one of the matches of the year. These two teams, they don't like each other. Friday night at the MCG, 7:20 p.m. Richmond taking on the Geelong Cats, mate. Head to head, the Tigers 334, Geelong at $1.33 at the line. The Tigers plus 20.5 at $1.90, Geelong minus 20.5 $1.90. I reckon the line is an absolute Monty here for Tigers faithful. We get up for these games, Spide.
Yeah, you do.
This is the game, a big crowd, MCG. I reckon we can win this game, and I'm being serious.
I tell you what, the Tigers will have to not only get up, they'll have to get up and up and up and up and up and up because the Cats, how can you go past the Cats at the moment? And I understand the Tigers' fast running game. They can turn the ball over quickly, and when they do, they've got their skates and they're going. That will be their game plan. Turn it over, catch them. We thought that grand final day with Sydney and Geelong, and I know that was 6-8 months ago, but Geelong have found that mojo at the moment. They are sitting beautifully. They just know what they need to do. And if it's not your Jeremy Camerons or your Hawkins kicking goals, they've still got Gary Ryers. And, I just find the depth of their team. One advantage, yet they haven't got Patrick Dangerfield, but their depth. I can't go past the Cats. I know you're a Tigers man. I'd love to hear them singing the yellow and black, but I reckon the Hoops are going to win it.
No, I've got a good feeling about Friday night. I really have, and I reckon this is the game that might just turn our season around, and that 380 to make the top 8 will look like a luxury next week, all thanks to Palmerbet. Hey, it's Friday night. It's a double header. West Coast taking on the Gold Coast Suns. They have been really, really solid without getting across the line, the Suns. 8:40 Optus Stadium, head-to-head, the Eagles 350, Gold Coast at $1.31 at the line, West Coast plus 21.5 $1.90, Gold Coast minus 21.5 $1.90, all thanks to Palmerbet. What are your thoughts here, Spide?
Well, it's a weird time because, I think Sydney used to go over 3 days earlier. Hopefully the Suns do, because 8:40 is 10:40 on Gold Coast. So it's a ridiculous time. They should have been played the other way. It should have been played earlier in Perth and then the later game here, because it's
a 5 o'clock kind of start.
Yeah, it is. It's just silly, but at the same time, for us who love a same game multi, Palmerbet, beautiful, because if you don't get up for the Tigers, you've always got a double ender at the end. So I love it. No, I love Friday night footy. So for me, the Gold Coast Suns, as you said, they've been playing some good footy. I don't know what Matty Rao does by eating grass, if that's his thing.
What was that, mate? What was that?
Well, yeah, what I like, these days at pre-season, Stewie Dew just puts him out for a spell in the top paddock and he can live out there for months. And
what a freak.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's like the swimmer, the swimmers put the water in their face. He just eats a bit of grass and he's about to be thrown into it about 80 times during his tackling efforts. So he just gets used to it. Oh, this is what it's going to taste like. This is good.
Unreal.
Unreal. Oh, yeah, it was weird. But, Oscar's going really well for the Eagles. Oscar Allen, he's had really good form. He had injured last year, good this year, kicking a lot of goals. But the Gold Coast Suns, this is one they need to go over there, stamp their authority, win by the line, win comfortably, and do it well. So for me, I reckon the Suns will get it.
They just can't get those close wins, can they? They've had close losses the last 2 or 3 seasons, and that's the difference, unfortunately, for Stewie Dew and his men. Saturday afternoon at the SCG, Sydney taking on the Fremantle Dockers, 145. The Swannies, $1.29, Fremantle, $3.64 at the line. The Swans, minus 22.5, $1.90, Fremantle, plus 22.5, $1.90. Weather's been pretty cold and wintry up at Sydney all week. The Dockers don't know or won't know what hit them, I reckon, comes Spide.
Nah, the old cold spell, but at the same time, they found some form. So that's going to give them a little bit of confidence. But the trip across to the East Coast is always going to be really tough for them. And at the SCG, you'd expect Sydney to win this. Sydney win easy. Buddy to kick 4, starting to find a bit of form. There's a bit of controversy around him, and he'll love it. He will absolutely thrive on it. He'll kick a bag, and he'll just show, you know what? This is what I do. This is what I love it. So for me, Buddy to kick 4, Sydney to win easy.
Wonder what that'll be. Swanee's at the line and Buddy to kick forward. Be a nice little price, I reckon, for our Palmer Bet followers. Hey, North Melbourne taking on the Port Adelaide Power Saturday, 2 p.m., 2:10 p.m. at Blundstone Arena. Head to head, the Kangaroos $5.30, the Power at $1.16 at the line. North Melbourne plus $30.50, Port Adelaide minus $30.50. Blundstone Arena probably brings the Kangaroos back in, but the bubble's burst a little bit there, hasn't it, for Clarko and the boys?
Yeah, it has. Yeah, finding it really tough at the moment. And the thing is, you look like Zeeble, and Zeeble's getting 30, 36 touches, but it's all just junk time down the back. Players, the team's going, mate, you can have as much ball as you want in your defensive 50, but try and get it past us. And they just can't. They just haven't got the cattle there. They just need a lot more. So at the moment, and Port Adelaide, gee, they're good to watch. Their young players are really going in hard. Pal Pepper, one of my favourite players at the moment, really standing up there. You've got the big don't argue happening. And then you look at, big Charlie Dixon, he took great marks. If they could just kick straight, they would have won on the weekend by 20 goals. So I expect the same down there. They won't sit in fifth. They've got their game in a perfect spot right now.
Hey, listen, next game, Hawks taking on the Demons, Saturday, 4:35 MCG. This is a chance, I suppose, for the Hawks to show a little bit. They're $7. The Demons are in really good form at $1.08. Hawthorn at the line, plus 41.5, $1.90. Melbourne, minus 41.5, $1.90. Any show at all, the Hawks here, mate, or do you just think the Demons just get the job done?
I'd like to think so, but I thought that last weekend, and the Hawks are really struggling at the moment, and a few sides are finding them out. So Melbourne just way too classy, too much. Everywhere you look, I'd expect them. And look, it's always hard to go at the line when you're talking 40 points. That's a big margin, but I reckon they'll cover it. Melbourne, they're a very good side at the moment, and the Hawks, what they showed against Freo, they're coming back from a long trip as well. So I reckon, Melbourne easy.
Yeah, Demons get the job done there. Brisbane taking on Essendon Saturday at the Gabba, Saturday night, 7:25. Head-to-head, the Lions, $1.26. Essendon, $3.90. Brizzy at the line, minus $25.5, $1.90. Essendon, plus $25.5, $1.90. Bombers are going along all right, but gee whiz, I was impressed. I was impressed with Brisbane last week, Spide.
Yeah, well, the Gabba will be chockers. It will be packed. Yep. You won't get a seat out there. It'd be a fantastic place to go and watch footy because, as you say, the thing about Brisbane at the moment is their midfield love kicking goals. So their midfields get forward, then you got McCluggage and others on the outside. Yep. But more importantly, when they get it forward, there's still six blokes in that forward line that kick 4 or 5 goals any week. It doesn't have to be your Danahers, your Hipwoods, your Camerons, your Rainers. Well, they've got so many different avenues to goal that you can't cover them all. You just haven't got enough defensive players. So I really like their setup at the moment, Brisbane. So as you said, like Dylan Shitter's been really good this year. Like that hit he did on the weekend and the muscle he showed.
He's cracking in.
They have been. And even, their ruckman, I've been a bit critical of Big Draper, probably grabbing the ball a little bit too much for my liking. But you know what? Brisbane, the Bombers have been okay, but Brisbane are very, very good. They won't lose at the Gabba.
I agree, mate. Brisbane, very, very good. This is a game. This is the game of the round. Even bigger than Friday night, Richmond and Geelong, mate. But Carlton v. the Western Bulldogs. Marvel Stadium, Saturday night. So that all eyes, all attention, their fans will come out in their droves. Head-to-head, the Blues $1.94, Western Bulldogs $1.90. At the line, plus 0.5 $1.90.
Oh, come on.
I know. Western Bulldogs minus 0.5 $1.90. Big game for both these teams. And won't the blowtorch, if the Blues happen to lose this one, the blowtorch is certainly going to be on, isn't it, Spide?
Absolutely. And like 2 cracking games on Saturday night. You got Brisbane and the Bombers at the Gabba, and there you got this one at Marvel. And look, for me, I had Carlton tick this morning. I thought, yep, Carlton. And then when I started reviewing it and started thinking and talking about the plays and saying, you know what, I'll probably get Dunkley or someone to sit on Cripps, and then you've got Libba. Imagine the Bont and Cripps. Like, this is just put those 2 blokes on a big billboard in Melbourne and you'll fill the stadium. Like, that is what you want to see, those 2. And then you start going the 4 line of both. And we know what Carlton's got but can they get it there? And then we know what the Bulldogs have got, but which defence is going to stand up the most? Yeah. And I started weighing it up, and I honestly thought Carlton earlier in the week, and the week's not that long gone, but I'm on the Dogs. I'm going the Doggies. I reckon the Dogs will win, and it's going to be heartache for Carlton fans.
I'm on the Blue Baggers, mate.
The
Baggers. I reckon they're back. Weedering will have an absolute blinder, mate. And Cripps and the big Charlie out forward will kick 4 or 5. And
all right, there you go. Take the Tigers and the Blues.
Tigers
Imagine
and the
that
Blues,
as a double.
Mate. That's going to get me.
That's
going to get me about the Tigers 3. It's going to get me about $7, mate. So what you are something here, Spot. Hey, Adelaide taking on St Kilda. This is going to be a big game too. Sunday, 1:10 p.m. at Adelaide Oval. Head to head, the Crows $1.65. Saints $2.25. We continue to get value for the Saints. Adelaide at the line -6.5 $1.90. St Kilda plus 6.5 $1.90. Honestly, we keep each week, we get a little bit of value for the Saints, and we're going against a team that's been going all right, but they still haven't set the world on fire, the Crows.
I know. I've just got to ask the guys at Palmerbet. Obviously, they don't like the Saints. Like, what have we ever done to you? What have we done? Hey,
it's like you with Richmond, mate. It's like you with
Vegas. Come on. Like the Saints have, as you say, they've done nothing wrong all year. They lost to Port by 7 points. They've done what they've done everything that they've been asked this year and a little bit more. They haven't got their key forward, and that's probably the one part of the game that they're lacking at the moment. But if Membry can stand up and kick 3 or 4 goals, I reckon the Saints can win this. You've got Big Tex at the other end, but defensively, the Saints are very, very good. They'll be whacking in. They won't allow the Crows what they've had in the past. So I find this really fascinating. This is going to be a great game for both teams. Find out exactly where they're at. And we've said that for a few weeks about the Saints. We say it every week, but Palmerbet continue to give us value. We'll continue to take that value because you know what? They're continuing to stand up and deliver for us. So for me, I'm taking the Saints. I reckon they'll get over the Crows.
Saints fans have been cleaning the Palmerbet boys out in season 2023.
They're trying to get some back.
Trying to get some back, mate. Collingwood v GWS, Sunday 4:40 at the MCG. Head-to-head, the Pies, $1.15. Giants at $5.50 at the line. Collingwood -33.5 $1.90. Giants plus 33.5 $1.90. Any upsets here, Spide? Or do you
Toby Green out. He's their man. Yeah, he's their barometer. He gets them up and firing. I'd be very, very shocked if Collingwood lose this. GWS have been good. I reckon they've had an okay season. Yep, they've been in a couple of games, but this game they won't be. I reckon Collingwood will control this pretty easily. I'll be taking the Pies.
Hey, mate, let's have a look at your best bets last weekend. So 2 out of your 3 in your try bet got up. So the -9.
Yeah, hang on. Line. When Port Adelaide decided to kick 20 behinds.
I know, mate. And so that would have been a collect. And it was a decent collect too.
Yeah.
You're 2 out of 4 for your 2+ goal multis, which I've been.
And I've got an excuse there as well. Mitch Owens, he kicked 1 goal too. So please, all I ask, if I'm putting you in for goal kicking, just kick straight.
And Rayner was the other one that let you down a little bit last week.
He was on the outside. I said if you want to put a 4th leg in, put Rayner in for a bit of value. So for those people, Anyway, I wasn't far off. I'm on it. I know.
8 out of 9 in the kick 9. So that is massive. And the only team that let you down, and I think I might have told you.
You did,
yes. Over the Dockers, mate. I couldn't believe they had those odds around the wrong way. I knew that. The boys at Palmerbet reached out and said we apologise. But only one that let you down, mate, the Hawks.
I know. And not only that, out of all those 9 games, that is the only game that I had beer riding on. I owe you 4 purple hazes, and out of every other game, any other game, no beer. That game, beer.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll double or nothing, okay? We'll double or nothing. I'll go the Blues. You're on the Bulldogs this week.
All right, yeah.
Fighting chance, all right?
Absolutely.
Listen,
all right.
What do you got for us, mate, this week?
My pick 9.
Yep.
My pick 9, I'm going the Cats, into the Suns, into Sydney, Port Adelaide, Melbourne, Brisbane, the Dogs, St Kilda, and Collingwood.
That's pretty good, mate. That is pretty good. That's going to give you $17.36, big fella, on the palm. So that is, I reckon that was similar to last week. I reckon you were around about the 1 mark or something. So that's good, mate, to pick 9. What else you got for us for the weekend, big fella?
Oh, look, I still like these this try bet, the minus 19.5, or they've got to win by 20 points.
Yep.
I only just missed out on Port Adelaide last week, got the other legs, and I thought these are really good bets. So I'm taking Brisbane to win by 20 plus.
Yep.
I'm taking the Saints to win by 20 plus.
Yep. And
I'll take Collingwood too to win by 20 plus.
Righto. So that's going to give you about $9.69.
Yeah.
Right.
So as long as the Saints can get a good start, I like that.
Right, I like it, mate.
Collingwood and Brisbane are nearly your certainties.
Right,
me.
Now, what about your little? Have you got a little 2+ or anything for us this week too?
Yeah, look, I've had a look at a couple, but I'll give you a 2+er. Yeah, I do too, because I've looked at disposals as well. And for punters out there, have a look at disposals for players that are playing, a lesser team in a good team, and those that have been averaging around 20 disposals. That's what I like to do. Just have a look at that. But for my 2 goalers, because I want to know one of these, this is my go.
Yep.
So, Pal Pepper. He's forward. He'll kick goals for Port Adelaide.
Yeah, in good nick.
Hopefully, he's in good nick. So, Pal Pepper, I'm going to go into Libba at the Bulldogs. He's out a little bit of value, but he will get forward. If Libba's around forward stoppages, fair chance he's going to get his foot to ball. I'm taking Hipwood from Brisbane.
Yep. Rafa.
He'll kick a couple. Yep. And I'm going to go Membry.
Right.
Membry at the Saints. He needs to kick a couple. He's overdue too. He's had a few weeks off injury. He's had a few weeks back since he's been injured. He'll have a big game, and it's time he stepped up. This is his moment.
Love it, mate. Now listen, and did you have Van Ruin in that as well?
No, well, they're waiting to see what happens. They're just sack him.
Righto. So I've got that roughly this is at about 35.98, Spide.
Yeah.
So that is decent price. That is decent value for the 2+. And you've been around the mark, mate. You've only been missing 1 or 2 legs there. So I'd stick at it, because at some stage you're going to pluck one of these out, and the pick 9 too at a nice price, $17.36. So, hey, big fella, I love it, mate. Are you heading to the footy at all this weekend, mate? Obviously the Suns are playing in the States, so you won't be going to that one.
Yeah, look, it's Mother's Day, so absolutely. I think, for my beautiful wife, Sheree, I think she likes nothing more than going to the football on a Sunday afternoon. So for all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day, and hopefully you can get along to the footy.
Love it, big fella. It is going to be a wonderful round of AFL action, that is for sure. Download the Palmer Bet app. It is really simple, and as we always say, do it in a really responsible manner, that is for sure. And just remember what you're actually really gambling with. Spida, I'll talk next week, big fella. Have a wonderful weekend.
Absolutely. Enjoy the weekend of football. It's going to be a cracker starting on Friday night with a doubleheader.
Happy Mother's Day.
Think, is this a bet you really want to place? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.